Steven, why you gotta make me cry? These are sad tissues. I prefer happy tissues.
Steven, isn't it great when we can make people cry and it's not for like bad reasons?
It is a great feeling, yes.
We put out the Fun to Photographer video this week. It's our second one of this. We actually did 4, that 2 more in the can, and it's the new version here at the new studio. And it is so hard to come up with titles for these that I hope we don't fail. I would just love that. I would love that we could just be like Fun to Photographer video now, and then people would like episode 3, and then people would just watch it. Maybe they would.
Well, I don't think they would at all. 2, I just hope we don't start to piss people off with these sensationalized, kind of clickbaity titles. Although after you watch the video, you'll see why we called it "I'm sorry, this is emotional." ...
It delivers every time. I mean, it's literally playing the game of YouTube, because we know it's a great video. We know we need a good title, and we know we need a good thumbnail. And the one of the titles we were going to go with was "I cried, he cried, will you cry?"
Yeah.
And that was what Steven came up with, which is close. But then that was like 4:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, let's sleep on it, because we couldn't really come up with something, and I didn't want to rush it. And then I just pared it down. Okay, how can we take "I cried, he cried, will you cry?" and like even make it a little bit more subtle, right?
Less is more.
Yeah, we've learned that with certain videos, and sometimes more is more in videos. But
I mean, it's funny though how with these Fun to Photographer videos, especially, we spent probably 2 hours roughly the day before trying to narrow it down. And then we narrowed it down again the following morning for another few hours. Like, we spend a lot of time trying to come up with that general idea. All right, like, here's what the video is about. And then we broke that down even further to what is it at its core? It's an emotional, uplifting video. How do we make a title out of that? And eventually we finally came up with some kind of crying title, and then winded up with "I'm sorry, this is emotional." ... And then we were worrying about, like, should we put "I'm sorry" first or at the end? And we went back and forth with that for like 30 minutes.
Now, what's false about that title and misleading is Jared doesn't apologize.
You actually said that. You're like, wait, I don't apologize though. I'm like, that's the point. You don't apologize, so people are going to click on it.
Do you know how many times in school, like in elementary school, they're like, apologize to Jake or Jen or whoever. They're like, apologize. And I'm like, no. They're like, what do you mean no? I'm like, I'm not sorry. I'm not going to say it if I'm not sorry. They're like, well, all you have to do is say it and you're not in trouble. I'm like, I'm not sorry. I meant to do it. Fuck Jennifer. Fuck you, Jennifer. Go drive a Subaru, Jennifer.
Hey, Jared.
Jennifer. Yeah. No, I was like, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Leave me alone.
And I'm like, Jared, this is not a literal headline. Like, please, let's just go with it. You don't, just because you don't apologize in real life doesn't mean you can't put a title like that up.
Yeah, but that was me, Steven, as a little kid.
And then the other big thing was we had no thumbnail to go along with this video, because essentially this video is simply just a Zoom call. We tee it up. We talk about the background of Fun to Photographer. We explain who the teacher is and why he reached out. And then we have a Zoom call with him, essentially granting him the gear at the end of the video. And then we have a follow up with the kids receiving the gear and all. It's a very emotional, uplifting video. I think it's a really good piece. I actually told you a few times, I'm like, dude, I'm tearing up nonstop editing this video. Every time I go back to it and watch like the crescendo, I just bawl every time. And you're like, I didn't cry.
I don't know if I got to the crescendo. What's the crescendo?
Oh, well, you probably watched it at 2x speed and you don't get the actual emotion when I'm like doing a slow push in of the guy like tearing up and crying.
It's so boring. I already did it. I lived it.
Yeah, but you hear his whole backstory and then you see him tear up, realizing like, oh my God, I did all this work and it's finally paying off. My classroom is actually being funded at this point. I mean, I don't know. My heart goes out to that guy for actually putting up his own money. His name is Jeff Campbell, an Ohio school teacher. Unfortunately, the school doesn't have a huge budget, and he basically funded most of the class himself when it comes to all the cameras and gear.
Yeah.
Back to the title idea, we didn't have a thumbnail. So that was the other thing, is we had to go back into the archives and try and find like something serious to go along with This Is Emotional, because if I just show like a split screen shot of the two of you talking on Zoom, it's there's nothing to that, you know?
No, I have a whole archive 2021, 2, 3, 4 of different thumbnails. Yeah, this one I pulled from 2023, 2022.
That was a thumbnail we actually took for I was wrong about the Chinese lenses or whatever.
So it's not that long ago.
That was probably like 6 months ago, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we really should up on the set just take a bunch of pictures in different shirts, and because the shirt doesn't matter, but it's just different looks.
It's more the serious look. We rarely do that. It's usually like the goofy, like pointing look or fixed look. You know what I mean? It's rare when we have these serious titles and thumbnails, and I think that's also why people tend to watch these, because it's a breath of fresh air when you see something serious from you.
Yeah, well, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. We did get an email from Jeff yesterday, and it says, "Hi, Jared. I hope all is well." Hey, do you know what I hate with emails, Steven? This isn't from Jeff. When they're like, "I hope this email finds you well." Fuck you. You hope this email finds me well. I don't give a shit
It's called
about
common
that.
courtesy.
It's bullshit. It's fake. Please don't be fake.
It might not be fake. Jeff seems like a pretty genuine dude.
I'm not talking about Jeff. I'm talking about the people that say, "I hope this email finds you well. Why didn't you reply to my last 7 emails about new thumbnails and this bullshit from this form email?" Anyway, hope all is well. I just saw the video from yesterday and I felt that I needed to email to just express how grateful I am for the opportunity you have given the students in my class. And I like how he didn't say given me the opportunity, which is good. Yeah. The equipment has allowed so many kids the chance to go out and get into photography. It's something I never imagined in my life that could happen. My classes this year decided, because of how many photos are being taken, that we wanted to start a photo of the week for every week so far.
Very cool.
The class votes on what they believe was the best photo. We print it out and hang it in the school, and also print an 11 by 14 copy to frame and give to either the photographer or the student in the picture. I truly can say thank you. Can't say thank you enough. It truly has been a life changer in my classroom. Ryan has also put his kit to good use. He started doing a lot of his own editing and has begun doing some videos as well as for various car shows in the area. He asked that I pass along his appreciation for your kindness. I attached below just a handful of photos that have won our Photo of the Week awards, just so you can see what an impact you have made for my class and I. Each were taken by a student either at the first or second outing this season. Again, thank you so much. The world needs more amazing people like Jared. Jared is the best. Jared's so good.
You're just rereading that line over and over again every day.
Jared's so good. Jared's
Feed
so
the
good.
ego.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if that was Ryan at the end, the one student that he took a video of holding the camera. I assumed it was, but I was going to put his name on the screen, but I wasn't certain.
Yeah. No, I mean, these are good they're high school kids. Like, I have to think back to how shitty I was in high school to think about what I was doing. And now these kids have the advantage. I did reach out to Canon because they talked about a printer. Maybe Canon has like a Pro 1000 printer still sitting around with a bunch of ink that they want to send that way.
That would be great.
So I'm waiting to hear back about that. So that is the Fun to Photographer thing. I get emails about Nigerian princes needing cameras, and
especially after we post the round of Fun to Photographer videos, there's always the comments like, "I need a camera too. Can you fund me?" And all the texts coming in about like, "Can you also help me out?" But it's like, guys, clearly this guy was really in need, giving up his own salary to fund the classroom. I mean, he also works in a low income district, so I'm sure his salary isn't the best anyway to begin with.
Yeah.
It's tough. He really does care for the kids, and that's the biggest thing. That's what I took away from this video.
That is. I mean, it was just, when I was doing the video, I didn't know that I was going to give him all that stuff. But when he said the things that he said, I'm like, I can't let you just be buying 500 F4s.
Then you hooked him up. Did you give him 1DX Mark IIIs too?
I may have given him 2 of those. I think at the time in the video I said I was going to give 7Ds, but I think I gave all the 7Ds away to one of the people at the boot camps who has underprivileged kids that he helps out. We didn't make a video about that. I just did that.
So that means you gave him even better gear, the newest round of Fun to Photographer gear, which is probably like 5D Mark IVs.
Well, I think we're getting close to. We'll probably start. We got Rs, which means we're going to get RPs, which means we're going to get R6s and R5s. We're at the point where we're going to start getting mirrorless bodies like that. I can't imagine I can't imagine what it's like that we're going to be having our freaking 5s and 6s to teach people.
I just hope the next round of Fun to Photographer videos that go out, I hope they get viewed as well, because this is a great initiative. Kudos to you and Canon for doing this. Every time we edit these videos, it brings me to tears. It really does. It's a great thing for the community, especially.
All right, moving on. RAWtalk episode 121. We've got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. We did the Fun to Photographer thing. We're going to talk about Steven went and overpaid for a concert.
Yes.
We have a new sponsor to talk about. We've got a little boot camp plug.
Ooh.
Book 2 title has been announced. Actually, I'm going to announce the title that we've come up with for the book. There's some R1 news, some 200 to 500 news. The 5-day fucking deal will get ripped on by me.
So weird.
And should we start with the new sponsor, Steven?
Yeah, I am clueless. So who is this new sponsor?
Well, who do you think it is?
Is this real or is this fake?
Well, who do you think it is?
Oh, Subaru?
It's Subaru, Steven. Subaru, and I have an ad read right here. Thank you very much. Do you want your part of it? Because there's a host and a co-host portion of it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
All right, let me send you over the 2 co-hosts. I'll send you. You're going to be the co-host, and I'm the host. I asked ChatGPT to write us a script for this ad read.
Oh my God.
I just slacked it over to you. Let me know when you are ready for the ad read.
Hold on. Let me get this formatted properly.
Cue cheerful, upbeat music fades in, Steven. Okay, host reads. Hey there, friends. If you're looking for a car that fits your adventurous lifestyle and has room for your partner, your dogs, and your gear, let us tell you about the Subaru Forester. We're a proud lesbian couple, and our Forester is like the 3rd member of our family. Wait, I thought that was their strap-on. Reliable, spacious, and always down for the ride. Whether we're hitting the mountains or just grabbing groceries, it's got everything we need.
And honestly, Subaru's community love and support for the LGBTQ plus family, it's the real deal. We feel seen, valued, and ready to roll.
That's right. So if you and your partner are in the market for something durable, fun, and inclusive, Subaru Forester is the move.
Subaru, love. It's what makes a Forester a Forester.
Yeah, so thank you, ChatGPT, for what I typed in was write a 30-second ad read for a podcast read for a lesbian couple who love and drive a Subaru Forester and want to tell their gay friends all about it. So we're telling all of you about it because this is not brought to you by, not actually a real Subaru plug, but we still keep getting messages from Subaru owners, which is great.
I love it.
My favorite was the guy, he just brought home a new Forester and he sent the picture of it. And he has like basketball lines painted on his driveway. But I replied back, I'm like, well, you just parked over all the basketball lines. Where are your daughters going to play now? Basketball. It was kind of funny. So anyway, Subaru, if you would like to be a sponsor, we have many of LGBTQA plus viewers that I don't know of because I really don't know if we do. But ChatGPT is really good how it can write the different parts for all of us.
We've used it for titles. You know, we'll throw something out there like, here's the general premise and idea of the video. What do you got? And it'll come back with some really clickbaity, great headlines.
I actually did some Googling about how the ads of Subaru came about and why they did it. I mean, they were failing in the 90s and they wanted to come up with something else. And they knew that the people that drive Subarus tended to be more educated, more outdoorsy, and they liked the fact that they had a 4-wheel drive before other people did. But when it came to lesbian couples, they didn't want trucks and they didn't want a tiny car. They wanted something in between that fit their lifestyle of being active and having maybe a family or going and going to the grocery store or whatever lesbians like to do.
Fit the stereotype. What?
Yeah. But you know, and it worked.
Yeah.
And it worked because they are good cars. And it was funny. They had to go in and convince like the Japanese board on that they're going to do gay ads. They weren't the first to do it because it looks like IKEA did a commercial in 1994 with a gay couple buying a table, two men that are clearly not actually gay. They're playing gay couples on the IKEA ad because they're not really gay. You could tell they're not gay.
It's called acting.
No, they just weren't. They weren't real. They didn't play gay very well. But anyway, so they go to the board to talk about this, to say that they want to do a gay commercial. So the Japanese look up gay and then instantly say yes, because who doesn't want a happy and joyful commercial? Because that's what gay stands for. That is hilarious.
Did they really think that?
That's what it says.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, that's the translation. Happy, gay always meant happy and joyful. So that was perfect.
Lost in translation, literally.
Yeah. But that was kind of funny. Anyway, I just thought I just wanted to read up on it because it's cool to do these different studies of how a company can go so far outside of the box and come up with something different.
Oh, a complete 180.
Yeah, like it works. Okay, so I think we're going to put Subaru to rest from here on out until next week.
When you hinted like we have a new ad read, I'm like, I guarantee it's Subaru.
Yeah, you guessed it, and I didn't smile, Steven.
You didn't say anything, which to me was the giveaway. Because you would have instantly been like, no. You just said nothing.
We don't sell ads, actually. We haven't sold plugs on this. We tried for a minute, and then I was just like,
screw it.
This show is not like that. This is the ads that podcasts do, I literally skip. Why am I going to listen to 4 minutes of ads?
I mean, honestly, I think people skip every ad, whether it's YouTube, TV, podcasts, everything. I think it's almost worse to put the ad right up front.
It's horrible.
Because then literally just skip.
Yeah.
When it's in the middle, at least I'm like, oh, I caught 10 seconds of that, and it might have caught my attention to keep listening, but for the most part, or if I don't have my phone near me or something, I can't skip.
Yeah, well, you could tell Siri your headphones.
See, I have Siri disabled on everything, so.
All right. Well, anyway, let's move on. Steven overpaid for what kind of tickets did you overpay for this weekend, Steven?
Creed. And
with arms wide open.
And Three Doors Down and Finger 11.
If I go crazy, will you then you call me Superman? If I'm alive and where will you be? I always thought he looks slow. Hand. He always has that look of he's slow.
He's got the Shane Gillis look a little bit, I'd say.
What did Three Finger Death Punch 11 sing?
No, Finger 11. They sang One Thing and Paralyzer. They're the two big songs from them.
How does Paralyzer go?
I'm not a huge fan of that song. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay, how does One Thing go?
Restless tonight, 'cause I wasted the light. Between both these times, I drew a real thin line. Remember that song?
Oh, we better be careful.
If I traded it all, if I gave it all the way for one thing.
We better be careful. We might get a content
getting
strike
demonetized.
ID that was just very much like the actual song.
Exactly like the song.
Fill us in. Where was it? Why did you decide to go? And how was it?
So super last minute. I mentioned it last week that I might be going because my brother said he was going to try and go. He didn't have tickets at the time. Now the show had been sold out for months, I think, at this point. So we had to go on StubHub, Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, trying to see all the reseller tickets and stuff like that. It was at the Hard Rock Cafe, so 45 minutes away from me, very close. It's a very intimate venue. The max capacity is like 6,000 people, so a fairly small venue for bands these size. Now the issue was the pricing. The pricing was astronomically high, and I told myself, I'm like, you know what? I never pay for tickets. Literally, I've been comped tickets almost my entire life from working with the radio station or Live Nation. It's rare when I had to pay for anything when it came to music-related stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to splurge. Give myself a budget of like $500 max. Like I'll be willing to spend $250 each. They're good seats. It's a small arena. It's a lot of presets, but I told myself, I'll splurge a little bit here. I think the most I've ever paid for a concert ticket before this was like $150 each, and that's like including fees. The issue was that I looked up all the pricing and they were all crazy. I'm talking like $1,000 per ticket minus fees. I'm talking $750 for back row seats
for Creed.
Yeah, each. And at first I'm like, oh, bundled together, that's with fees. No, that's without fees per ticket. So you're looking at like $2,000. I'm like, no way. So initially I'm like, I'm not going to this concert. And then slowly seats started opening up, decent seats actually. And I ended up finding ones for $215 each on SeatGeek. Now,
What was face value?
$229 actually.
It's such bullshit. That's such a bad. I mean, it's a fine place to see a show, but anytime you go to Atlantic City, the amount that you pay to go see a show there versus somewhere
It's
local
inflated like crazy
is a joke.
compared to everywhere else. Yeah, I guarantee I could have got better seats at different venues for like $150 maybe. But yeah, so $229 normally. I got it for $215 each, and I'm like, all right, cool. I got hooked up, and meanwhile, I looked at Ticketmaster and StubHub. They all show the same exact seats, but for some reason, different pricing. So I'm talking, I would have spent another $100 if I bought it off Ticketmaster, or another $50 off StubHub. SeatGeek seemed to have it the cheapest pricing and more options actually. So I buy the tickets and then I go to check out. Another $170 got tacked on because of fees, because of ticket fees that were $85 each. I spent an extra $170 in just fees. What fees are we talking about? I don't even get a physical ticket. It goes right to my phone, a digital download. So I ended up spending $600 in the end when I thought I was going to be spending like $450.
Did you buy any beer?
Oh yeah. So on top of that, each beer was like $20. So we probably spent $60-$70 in just alcohol.
Did you buy food?
Food, we ended up going to the Irish pub down the street. That was cheap, actually. It was like $40-$50, but more like bar, diner food type stuff. But we were going to stay the night, and I'm like, no way. Like, we already spent how much money? It's a $700+ night on this concert alone with,
It's only
with alcohol.
45 minutes away.
Yeah, and we're like, it's 45 minutes away. Thankfully, Hannah was sleeping at her grandparents' house.
So how was the show?
The show itself was well worth it. I will say each band was great. The thing I didn't like, I felt like the production value wasn't there for like Three Doors Down or Finger 11. They were just playing on like an empty random stage. I guess because that's not the size arena that they normally play.
Or openers? I don't know.
What's Three Doors Down? Like, I feel like they're a pretty massive band, especially I thought they had more hits than Creed. Listening back to their set, I'm like, I think they have more songs than Creed.
They had some really, I'm here without you, baby.
And they played all the hits, I'll tell you that.
Good. That's good.
They really focused on just the hits. And it's like every other song I knew, and I forgot I knew. I thought they all sounded great. The only thing I didn't like production-wise is I felt like the vocals were way too high compared to the actual music. The music, it's almost sounded like a karaoke type band for the first two bands. Like the music was drowned out in the background and you had the singer really present in the foreground. But yeah, I went to my butt rock concert. Although Creed, it's kind of, they're on the edge. But Three Doors Down,
butt rock. They're still butt rock.
I'd say they're pretty much butt rock, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
It looks like Three Doors Down sold over 30 million albums.
Their set list, for example, was It's Not My Time, Loser, Here Without You, Away from the Sun, Let Me Go,
Away from the Sun,
Kryptonite, When I'm Gone. I mean, all those songs, even if you don't remember the name, like once you hear the music, you're like, that song was massive back in the day.
Yeah.
Late 90s, early 2000s, huge band.
Yeah, I remember 99 in college when Kryptonite hit. It was the biggest thing ever.
The funny thing is the singer looks crazy young. I mean, he's mid 40s, almost 50, I think, at this point, and he looks like he's my age, like 35. He's got long hair now, looks like a kid. I thought he did a great job performing. I was more shocked that the crowd didn't really get into them. It almost seemed like they didn't even know who Three Doors Down were, which blew me away, because that was the main reason I got these tickets, because I'm like, all right, it's not just Creed, it's the entire lineup's pretty stacked.
Well, let's get to Creed. How was Creed?
Incredible. Doing higher hit. I just got goosebumps. They obviously closed with that before the encore, and the place just lit up. They got like flames behind them, like all kinds of confetti going in the air. You got Scott Stapp freaking singing higher. Oh, it's just dreams come true.
Was he wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey?
No, but they sold a Dallas Cowboys jersey. They sold the Scott Stapp Dallas Cowboys jersey from the Super Bowl. It was going for like $150 or something, because it was a legit jersey.
It was Thanksgiving,
whatever it was, yeah. But they did great. Again, like the first 6-7 songs, I was like, man, they really don't have as many hits as I remember. And then the last 7 songs in a row, they just hit after hit after hit. They did One, What's This Life For, With Arms Wide Open, Higher, One Last Breath, My Sacrifice. I mean, they were just knocking them out of the park. So, and he sounded great. He looks great too.
Well, because he was in bad shape. They sold over 53 million albums worldwide. I mean, they were at the time where you could make money, like big money, because it was pre like the 90s. Like the 90s was the time where it just exploded and you made bank as a musician. So can I move on now?
You can.
All right. I'm going to move on to just quickly tell you that I added another boot camp on November 16th. It's Saturday, November 16th here in Philly. You can go to bit.ly/campfro16 to grab your ticket. There are 3 have already sold, and I haven't even pushed it just yet. So if you want to come to a boot camp here in Philly, it's an all-day extravaganza with models. We've got indoor stuff. We've got outdoor stuff, low light, one-on-one. We go hands-on. I've got other photographers here to help us out. And the critique at the end of the day is the strongest, coolest thing to go through, and there's so much learning that happens. And people that have been to this are beginners, amateurs, advanced amateurs. Sometimes people that are more advanced than that show up as well, and there is something for everybody to learn. And if you missed the first 2 because they sold out, now's your chance to get one on November. Get yourself a holiday gift. November 16th, Saturday, all day. I take care of lunch and breakfast.
Spend almost as much as I spent on Creed.
Yeah, and get more value out of it. bit.ly/campfro16. Stephen will not be here probably.
I will not be there, and this is the last one of the year for sure, right?
I mean, I can never say for sure anything, but probably
Most
the last one
likely
I
the last one.
will do. Oh, yeah, because I travel part of December,
Exactly.
and then we're up to
Holidays.
the end of the year.
Will Greg be there again?
I asked him. He said he's available.
Cool.
Greg is a professional sports photographer and studio stuff. He loves doing these things, and he is an awesome addition to have here. He's just so good. Sideline photos on Instagram. So that's it. Let's move on to talking about book 2, because we've been prepping the Kickstarter. We are getting ready to film. I wrote a script that we have to film the Kickstarter reward stuff.
Should be filming tomorrow.
That's what it says, and hopefully everything's kosher that we can do. And I mean, I've been putting together the rewards. There's everything from a $25 reward that gets you that pack of cards, all the way up to a $10,000 reward, which is the max you're allowed to do, Stephen. So I can't sell 250 books.
You can't do.
Anything over 10 grand is not allowed, it says.
Okay.
So I made the 10 grand. Spend a day with Jared in Philadelphia for you and a guest. And lunch and dinner and Fro Factory and learn whatever you want to do. We do. If you want me to rent a Subaru, I will rent a Subaru for the day. And that's really one of the, that's one of those rewards that's like, no one's going to buy this. And then I put 3 of them up just in case 3 people buy it for $10,000.
No, when people buy it, you're going to be like, oh crap, I got to actually do it now.
No, I mean, that's good. That's good. It's not a bad thing.
You keep bringing up these cards. I just want to be clear that these are prints, right? Photographic, like cardstock prints.
Yes, they are photographic 4x6 cardstock prints. I keep saying cards because I want to push the fact that it's like a pack of baseball cards. It's going to come in a sleeve, right? And you're getting 3 of these 4x6 photographs that I print on the Pro 1000 or the Pro 1100. Some of them will be signed. Some of them will be limited edition. Some of them are one of ones, right? Like think of a baseball card pack where there's chase cards. There's chase cards. There's going to be reward cards too. Reward cards might be for something like, I don't know, something really good, like maybe attending my book launch party in Philly and I pay for the expenses and hotel and stuff. That might be one. Maybe you'll win a big portfolio, which reminds me, I didn't put up the 8x10 portfolio that I have to put into their 8x10 portfolio. I don't think I did that one because I'm doing portfolio options that people can purchase, like a 17x22 portfolio that's 20 prints or a 40 print version. But anyway, whatever. We're working on the Kickstarter. It's not up yet.
So will these cardstock prints be inside the book or when you ship them?
In the front cover. So it's cardstock paper, but real photographic prints. These are real. Like these are from the original file that I hit Control P.
Well, and that's why I want to be clear that, you know, they're actual prints, which I feel like holds more value than like when you call them cards. It'd be cool if you put them in like a foiled sleeve, like an actual baseball card pack.
I'm going to slip them into these envelopes I have that are wax envelopes or whatever they are. And then you'll open it up. And I decided to do 3 instead of just 1 because you never know what you're going to get in the pack of cards. You probably won't get a picture of Steven but
a Charizard?
I was thinking of including some other images that are my most famous images, like the rocket launch and maybe some of those that are just like chase cards that one of one that is just special. So anyway.
Yeah, you could. I do think it should be more themed around what's inside the book, but yeah, maybe it's They're just special one-off, special edition prints or something.
It's like the bowling cards where I ended up with a
I think that was by accident.
no Hope Solo. It's not by accident. They're
Why would
literally
they include
there
that?
because they bowled in a pro classic.
One
so
time.
they actually bowled once.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, a couple weeks ago we talked about the book titles. We got a lot of really good titles, not from people sending them in. Most of the ones people sent in were just terrible. Sorry, guys. They were just terrible. But ChatGPT did a really good job of doing them. And I went through all of them and I made a decision on the book title, Stephen.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah. So I've decided to go with Book 2, 22 Years of Music Photography. I kept it simple because I liked the idea of Book 2.
You kept it literal.
Blur did Song 2. And even if I named it From the Pit, blah, 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 with a flash or whatever, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I like Book 2. I think it's cool. It's funny. I like that. And that's how I decided to do it because I think that's funny. And that's why I'm doing it.
Terrible.
Because I like it. It's just like when we do weird shit for presets. We do weird shit. I like Book 2.
I don't think that's weird. I just think that seems like you forgot to name the book.
No, well, fine. Then you talk about it. That's the point. People talk about it. I just didn't like the titles.
Okay.
I have all the titles here, and I just didn't like what they said. I mean, they're good. Like, they come up with some good things, like Behind the Sound, a journey through music and moments, on tour, backstage, and beyond.
I liked Beyond the Spotlight. I liked Amplified Exposure. And then, obviously you add a line under that. Then you can put your 22 years of concert photography or whatever.
Do you want to know why I didn't like those, Stephen?
Why?
Because they're trying way too hard to be unique and different. And I don't want to try too hard.
They are at all. I think they're great titles. They
What title
explain
did you
exactly
like?
what's in the book. Beyond the Spotlight or Amplified Exposure were the two for me that were up there.
Yeah, I don't like Amplified Exposure. It's just trying too hard. I like Book 2. And that's why the book is called Book 2. And that's the story of that, Stephen.
Sounds like the guy from Three Doors Down made up that title.
Because you know why he made up named the band that? Because he lived 3 doors down from his buddy.
Because he was literal.
Yeah. What are you guys called? Three doors down. The American alternative rock band 3 Doors Down got its name after seeing a building in Foley, Alabama with a sign that read Doors Down, but was missing some letters. The band members were walking through town and decided to add the number 3 to the name because there were 3 of them in the band at the time.
Book 2.
Exactly. I saw a book and it's my second book. It's Book 2. I used to shoot 3 Doors Down every time they came to town. I was on first name basis with them back in the day.
So the question is, will Book 3 be called Book 3?
No, most likely Book 3 will possibly be my 4x5 book. And the difference between that is I'll actually get to make that book
It'll
slightly
be called
smaller.
Book 4x5.
You heard it here first. You guys heard it here first. Stephen with the good book title.
Terrible title.
The book 4x5. Book 3 4x5. Shit.
Book 3, scratch it out, put 4x5 next to it, handwritten.
Stephen, that's a really good idea. Stephen's coming up with the think pieces today.
It's really hard to do that.
Yeah. 3 Doors Down. Let's move on to some of this R1 news. You want to go into what the rumor sites have been talking about? It's been slow for this part of the year.
There's nothing to really talk about, minus the fact that they just said that the R1 is going to come with some updated features, and that's it.
Well, the one thing that got me is they said that differentiate it from the R5 Mark II's autofocus.
But it already is differentiated with the cross-type autofocus point, so it already is not the same. So I don't really know. I mean, maybe there'd be some slight tweaks here and there, but
maybe they're going to add other priority focus modes, action priority modes.
I could see that, but I would think that they would then give it via firmware update to the R5 Mark II.
I do too. Maybe they've tweaked some of the things that I suggested they tweak.
Well, we're hoping the pre-shooting is one of the biggest things. Adjust that, where you can really dial in exactly how much time you want to shoot beforehand.
Except I might just leave it at a half a second now that I've been shooting at a half a second because
now you
who
like
cares? Well, like, who cares? I'd rather have more than less, right? Like, I'd rather not limit myself to say 6 shots because what if I really could have done better that's
I'm thinking more about the R5 Mark II when you're dealing with giant 45 megapixel files, and you're shooting 15 at a time and your buffer's getting filled up a lot faster using the pre-shooting than the R1.
it may be a quarter second or 0.3, 0.3 of a second could be
mimic
fine.
Sony is all I ask. Let me go all the way down to 1/100th of a second up to 1 full second.
Yeah, they do a tenth of a second, but
No, 1/100th of a second.
is that how you say 1/100th of a second? Okay. It was 1/10 of 1%. It was 1/10. It's a tenth of a second.
Yeah, 1/100th.
Is that 100th? Oh, okay. I didn't have to Dewey Decimal System.
0.001 of a second, right?
That's not the Dewey Decimal System.
What?
That was. I said I didn't have the Dewey Decimal System, and I realized that was the book way to find books. Not good. But yeah, the R1's coming. I'm told maybe next week I may get one. I hope
Really?
the Phillies are still in the playoffs.
I thought we weren't getting one till November.
I was originally told end of October, but also I need it for Africa.
Well, final production?
Pretty sure it's production unit.
Oh. Okay, cool.
I hope so. I hope the Phillies are still in the playoffs. I worry that they with all this time off and stuff that they might not, they might run into a hot team. So,
Well, quickly, what's your game plan for that? Are you actually shooting with like the R1 digitally, or are you going to take the 4x5 or both?
So it's a great question, Steven. I am continuing the 4x5 because the Phillies play Saturday at 4:08 and they play Sunday at 4:08, which means I've got a good. Well, actually, that's close to when the sun starts going down behind the stadium. But I'm going to take 100-speed film for the pregame stuff, and my goal is when they line up on the lines to do the photo, I'm going to find a specific angle that I want to get and still use the 50 millimeter lens to get them lined up. But I'm going to go up into the stands to do that one. Not like I did last year when I went to 420, which is right behind home plate, shot with the 10 millimeter, because I can't do that with this. And I don't want to be all the way up there because I can't set up the tripod up there. So I need to find a handicap section to the left, down left field line that will allow me to look back towards first baseline to get the Phillies all in a row.
So what happens if they win the pennant or something like that, where you need to be on the field? Like, are you obviously taking an R1 at that point? Are you going to take like your 4x5? You
I'm
can't
gonna take
probably
the
have
4x5.
a tripod, right?
I will take the tripod on the field.
Can you
Unless
have?
I will verify it before I go out there.
Oh.
But yeah, I need to. Like
I thought you said last year you couldn't have any like monopod or anything, any sticks.
I don't remember that. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stand a little further back. I'm going to try to do my best. There's certain shots that I've seen. I wasn't here for when they clinched the division where the Fanatic is waving the flag. I would have time to focus on the Fanatic and get that shot, the group team picture, and then a picture a little further away of the whole pile going on. I will attempt to do that. I will verify if I can do that. If they're going to win, I will verify that.
I just wonder if you'll even get enough time to take the group picture. I mean, how are you going to do it unless you're literally in front of all the other photographers trying to take that?
I'm not going to go in front. I'm going to go to the side. I'm going to go to the side and I'm going to showcase the team
but that's not
and
the same.
That's what I want.
I
don't want the
such a
same shot that they're
photo
getting
compared to the actual photo in front.
I don't agree with that. I think it's more. I think it's a better photo if I back up and I get all of the photographers and crew taking pictures. I know you disagree, but
1000% disagree.
I don't want the picture. I'm not going to be able to get the other picture. It's not wide enough.
But you're saying the side profile shot is better than a photo like that with a 4x5.
A side profile shot that showcases more of the environment
versus you
is
being
what I'm
in
going to
front
go for.
with the 4x5.
I won't be able to get in front, Steven.
I'm just saying, if you could, you're still saying the profile shot would be better.
If I could get in front and they were all looking at me, then yeah, I would
That's what
do
I'm
that.
talking about.
But I'd have to back up so far. They're using usually 14 to 16 millimeter lenses to get everybody in because that's where everybody stands.
No, of course.
I have no opportunity to do that.
I don't think the shot's really possible. I'm just saying that is the shot if you could get it.
That's one of the shots. I don't think it's the shot. I still like doing something that's different than everybody else. That's what sets me apart.
There's a
So-
whatever.
What? There's a what?
Just because you're doing something different doesn't mean it's good.
That's I say that to people that shoot film all the time. But I'm the arbiter of what's good and what's not good, Steven.
Of course you are.
Yeah. What I say is true.
Everything
It's
you do
fact.
is great.
Yeah, correct. It's the best of the best with honors cert. No, I know what you're saying, but I will only probably get a couple of pictures out on the field. We'll see what happens. They have to win something first. And if they win the first 2 games here and they win a game on the road, then I won't be there for that unless they play New York. If they play New York, there's now a possibility that I might ask the New York team owner to, if she would be interested, or if her and her husband would be interested in having me up there to do 4x5 for the Mets.
That would be incredible.
So that is a thing that I have in my back pocket.
There you go.
Right now. All right. So that's the R1 news. And there was some other rumor news about the 200 to 500 again.
Yeah, this has been rumored for months, if not years at this point, right?
Yeah.
Again, there's not much to go off of here. 200 to 500 F4 has been rumored for quite some time. They're hearing it's going to come with a TC, but it's a 50-50. They really don't know for sure. They're saying, some sources are saying it will have one, some are not. But with a TC, that would essentially make this lens a 280 to 700 F5.6 with a 1.4 TC built in.
I don't think it's going to have a teleconverter. It shouldn't have a teleconverter.
Think about, the 200 to 400 had a teleconverter, and I think this is essentially replacing that with the RF line.
The problem was quality long term. But what happens is the teleconverter thing shifts a little bit, which creates not sharp images. I see it with the 200 to 400s that we have downstairs. I was critiquing one of the Fun to Photographer kids that I gave a bunch of gear to that I didn't film, and he got a 200 to 400, and it is not the pictures. There's just like a haziness. There's a chromatic aberration issue because what happens is the converter gets off kilter. So yeah, the lens is pretty old. I don't, it's hard to, it makes sense that a 200 to 500 could be a possibility if they could make it smaller. I do not think if it is real that it would have a teleconverter built in because it's just more extreme. Whereas a 200 to 400 before, now it's a 200 to 500. You're not gaining that much more. And losing light.
If you are just replacing the 200 to 400 with a TC, just make it a 200 to 500 with no TC, and yeah, you're almost getting the same exact, if not better, because you're not, like you said, losing the light at 5.6. You're losing 60 millimeters, but is that really that big of a deal in the end?
No, it's a straight F4.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Unlike a Subaru F4. Now, what if this isn't true at all? What if there is no lens coming?
Very well might not be a lens coming.
Like that's the other side of the coin, is that these guys throw a bunch of rumors out there and get stuff wrong all the time. We haven't seen much in the way of Sony rumors, have they? Are they still in existence?
There hasn't been a ton of Sony or Nikon rumors, which is why we've been talking about Canon so much lately. But I'm sure that rumor mill will start churning again. Yeah,
because I guess A7V is something.
I think we're done for the year, though. Back to this lens, though. The other issue is the price. Will it be $11,000 like the 200 to 400 1.4 TC, or will it be a little more because it's a 200 to 500?
It would be more because it's newer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the question, is what will the price be if this lens is actually a thing? It's not going to be cheap at all.
Yeah, 14,000. I don't know. Maybe
14.
because it's an F4, it's not going to be. Maybe it's like $12,000. Maybe they'll make it $12.99.
Well, and the other thing too, remember we still have the 100 to 500, whatever it is, F5 to 7.1. That extreme telephoto lens, zoom lens that Canon has, but obviously it's a variable aperture lens.
Yeah. So can we move on to the next thing I want to rip on?
Let's do it.
How many times have you heard about the 5-day deal, Steven?
I hear it every year.
Yeah, it's 10 years old. This is not a plug for the 5-day deal because it's
this is the opposite of a plug.
The title of this section is "Fuck the 5-day deal." Do not waste your money on the 5-day deal. The 5-day deal, for those of you who don't know, is they get all of this, and I'm going to go into the business side of it too. But what they do is they get a bunch of mostly no-name creators, because I haven't heard most of these people that have put in like, you're going to get this preset pack, you're going to get this educational guide, you're going to get this PDF, and they're like, it's 95% off. So you get it all for $99. It's a $5,000 value. It's like, whoa, you're getting the dreck of the dreck from people. I was asked a long time ago to do the 5-day deal, and it didn't make sense to me. They're like, well, your product, the Fronos Photo Guide to Getting Out of Auto back in the day, which I sold for, $67, would be part of this product. And you make a lot of money when you sell it to your fans, your followers, when you sell the 5-day deal, because you get a large percent. You get like 80% of the affiliate deal, right? So you get all of the, you get this money. The reason 5-day deal does this, and they reached out to a ton of photographers, is because most of these photographers don't have reach, that if they release their own product, that they would be able to sell it. So they try to incentivize them by saying, we're going to get all these photographers to reach millions of people and all these creators to reach millions of people, and you're going to end up making money, but they make it a competition. Like, if you sell more, then you're going to get bonuses. But the problem is, from a business standpoint, if I was to sell to you guys this bullshit product that included my product, I just devalued my product by $1 billion. I'm telling you that, like, I don't run sales. We run very few sales. We maybe do 2 a year, if that, on anything. And the reason is, you don't want to train people to only wait for a sale. And if I start promoting to you and you buy it, what happens next year is the 5-day deal people directly promote to you from their account, cutting me out so I don't benefit in the future. They're basically using it as a lead generator so that in the following years, they can promote directly stuff that they want to promote and cut out me. So yeah, you could make some good money if you wanted to do it, but instead of spending the $97 and getting a bunch of products that you don't need and that you probably don't want, that are really probably subpar, look for the creators that you actually learn from and want to support and actually buy something from them. The Matt Kliskowskis of the world who... Wiskowski. The Matt Kliskowski... Yeah. The Matt Kliskowskis of the world who actually create informative content that you can learn from and don't devalue our products or buy from us because you get a lot of value from us. I'm not a big fan of the 5-day deal. And do you know much else about it, Stephen?
No, I'm actually looking on the website now to see who
F-Stoppers pushes it every year, and I think it's bullshit.
See, that's the first person I thought of was F-Stoppers because I always see them pushing it hard, but I just looked on YouTube and maybe they delete the video after that week or something because the last 5-day deal they posted was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, or they just promote it differently.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because there's like all of these bundles you can get. There's Push Your Photography Boundaries, 95% off courses and plugins by industry pros. Ooh, industry pros.
Oh, yeah, F-Stoppers is actually part of it. I'm looking now. I see
they are
Morris.
a part of it because they give their Chasing the World, Photographing the World 2 in here, which they sell for $300. Like, I don't understand why they would devalue it, but I guess they feel that there's enough value that they get because of the percentage that they get. I don't like the fact that there's multiple bundles. I looked at these people. Do you know any of these people on this list? I see Elia Liccardi.
I see Elia Liccardi, Scott Kelby, Matt Granger, Lee Morris from F-Stoppers.
What the fuck is Matt Granger selling? How to tie up someone doing shabu shabu or whatever the fuck it's called? If you want to look at porn, go to Matt Granger's nude photography website. It's not porn, it's art. Let me look this up because I haven't looked in a while. Matt Granger photography. It's funny, Matt Granger wife also comes up when you type in Matt Granger because people want to know. Let's see, all courses. Let's see, Matt Granger courses. If you don't know Matt Granger, you're not missing anything. So I finally found Matt's site. It's artnudeportraiture.com. Stop! Artistic nudity ahead. This website celebrates art nude portraiture and is intended for an adult audience. Full nudity is displayed. By agreeing, you are confirming you are over 18 of age or the age of majority in your jurisdiction. I'm over 18. If you're under the age of 18, do not go to this website, guys.
Your mind's not over 18.
I love nude portraiture. I'm a big fan. Well, I love nude women. There's previews. Oh my God. Is this a latest course? The first full nude shoot we have made. Join Matt and Steph on this real life nude portrait shoot and see what really goes down. Oh shit. That sounds like the start of every porn from 1980 or in the 1980s. Anyway, that is not part of the 5-day deal. I digress, but they do have full-on pictures on that website for educational purposes only. I suggest that you check it out because there's some very nude portraiture. Moving back to the 5-day deal, I don't know what Matt Granger program you get because I can't seem to find it. Oh, I did. I just searched for it. You get Natural and Available Light Masterclass. And that's normally a $297 retail value. But now it could be yours in the 5-day deal for, how much are they charging? $98? So it's not just, I just don't like devaluing our product just to buy all of this garbage that other people don't want.
I will say, though, for the people that are buying it, the recipients, they are getting a lot.
They are getting a lot of stuff. Most of it is
almost too
garbage,
much, in my opinion.
It is too much. I get it for $98, fine. But what really pisses me off about the 5-day deal is that this year it's their 10th anniversary, so it's the 10-day deal. But what always happens is it runs for 5 days, and then on the 6th day it's like we've extended it, and there's a bonus if you buy now. But they also have this charity bundle, which I find to be complete and utter bullshit. This massive bundle includes everything in the main bundle and Pro upgrade, and all of the resources below. Plus, we're throwing in an additional bonus bundle. Most photographers choose this option for the unparalleled value and feel good knowing they are making the maximum individual charity impact. I hate when people use charity as a way to enrich themselves. It's like us charging for fun to photographer videos. Like in order to watch this video, that would be a good idea. We're not enriching ourselves. We would be putting the money back to that. I just think whenever you pick charity as a selling point, I think it's bullshit.
Agreed.
Steven doesn't have much to say about that.
I'm staying off this topic.
Steven's staying off this topic. In my opinion, think that I really don't like the 5-day deal. I don't like scammy things that are 95% off. It's not a scam. You do get what you pay for. You do get all of those bundles and shit, but a lot of it is unnecessary and you don't need. I just don't like the business aspect of how they work personally. Not a scam, like I said. And I just don't like the charity thing. I just don't know. I just don't like things that are like every year we do this deal because it's not like it's much different from the years prior. And they use urgency, false urgency to make you buy it. Like, oh, it's going to be over, but then every year it gets extended. So that's why I never participated. I didn't want to bombard my followers, you guys, with this bullshit and then have them get your information and bombard you without my knowledge for other shit that they try to sell. It's internet marketing. It's early 2000s, 2010 style internet marketing, which is just these long ass sales pages with these multiple bundle options and with this idea that you're going to be supporting charity, which I'm sure they do donate money to charity, but I hate using that as a way to sell more. We're so good. Like my accountant every year says, how much have you donated to charity this year? Because it's a tax write-off. And I'm like, nothing. Anyway, don't buy their stuff. Buy our stuff. That's all I have to say about that. I just don't like
this rant is to buy our stuff.
I just don't like that business model. Again, not saying that it's a scam, but anytime you see something that says 95% off, it's just like when you go and you buy something at a store and they're like, going out of business sale. Well, last week it was $2.99 for that product. You go in there today, it's now marked up to $5.99, less $300, making it $2.99 again, making it not an actual deal, but they're trying to force you to buy it. The moral of the story is I don't believe in charity, Steven.
No,
it's not the moral of the story. I do what I do my way, and I'm not a big fan of just sending money, like the using charity as a way to push your initiative. Like Crocs and buy one pair and we send it to Africa, and or Toms or whoever did those shoes, like buy a pair of Toms and we give away a pair in Africa. Well, do you know what happened when they gave away the pairs in Africa? They put people out of business who made shoes in Africa, and now they don't have a living or a business to make money from anymore because these shoes have flooded their market, and so they lost their jobs. Like there's consequences that happen when you do these things. And that's why I don't like businesses that are tied in with charitable donations or that have charity pledges and all of that. That's just I just think it's trying too hard. You can do charitable things. You can do good things. I just feel that when you use it as your identity, it's like capitalism, but you're using charity as a way to get rich.
Of course.
Which brings us to a point where we are going to donate. I said get rich, Stephen.
We did do the one charity thing for the Australia fires back in the day. It was right before the pandemic, right?
Yeah. So,
but that was a little different, I think.
So that was, yeah, but 100%, Stephen, 100% of that
profits
went to charity. It was over. So we put up a charity shirt for sale. It was the
kangaroo shirt.
The kangaroo. It was the Australian animal I Shoot Raw edition shirt. And I did it through Bonfire, which would produce and ship and do all of the work for it. And it raised like $16,000 for the wildfires.
Yeah, I think it was
I
17.
saw none of that. I sat here going, I want $16,000. I want the 16. I could buy many more houses with that, partly. But no, it literally all just went straight to charity. It was just whatever the costs of the shirts were that was direct through Bonfire, all of the profits went. It wasn't 10% of the profits or 1% of every sale goes. It was literally all of it. You either go all in or you don't.
Agreed.
Right? That's my take on it. Steven agrees on it. Creed. With arms wide open. He creeds it.
With arms wide open by this kangaroo shirt.
Someone ruined that song because they said, with legs wide open. And so now every time you hear it,
many parodies of that
unhear
song.
it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Creed was so good.
Did
so good.
Weird Al ever do a parody on Creed?
I don't know if Weird Al ever did a Creed parody at the time.
Oh, wait. Yeah, he did with legs wide open.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it says Weird Al with legs wide open. Mad TV, my shirt's wide open. I don't know when though.
We're gonna wrap this bad boy up.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. We talked about a lot. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget about the boot camp, bit.ly/campfro16 if you'd like to attend. The last 2 have sold out. Not sure if this will sell out. I don't know. It's moved 3 tickets in the day since I put it up, and I haven't even pushed yet. We're about to push in Photo News Fix. I put a plug in there.
I was going to say, did you even post it?
I did an Instagram story. Yeah.
Okay.
I did an Instagram story the other day, and I did a Facebook post, and that was it. What was crazy on the Facebook post, Stephen? Someone typed underneath it, and this was a bot, and it was like, I have a ticket and I can't attend, so I'll just sell it to someone for the same amount with no profit. I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
Someone might fall for that scam, and I blocked and banned them because clearly that was some scam artist trying to say they own a ticket, and if you send them money, they will send you the ticket.
We had a weird scammy email that they sent my wife. Was basically saying like, we have cameras in your house, send us $2,000 tomorrow within 24 hours, don't tell the police, all this kind of stuff. And then they showed a snapshot of Google Street View showing my actual house.
That's a new scam going around.
Yep. And I literally just copy and pasted it in Google, and there's tons of articles about this entire template going around scamming people. Yeah, but I'm sure a lot of people fall for it because it was some of the stuff it said in there. I'm like, oh.
Did I tell? So side story, Stephen, this happened to me once. I was on a dating app, right? Now, it's a dating app for people that are basically looking for relationships or hookups or whatever, right? And so it's literally an app for that. By the way, I was single, or I'm still single, so it doesn't matter. I'm on this thing, and this person is like, I now have your information, and they start sending me, because they like, let's talk on Snapchat. It's like, cool, let's talk on Snapchat. They send like a picture, which is a nude picture. They want stuff in return. I'm not going to send them anything in return. Why would I do that? Like, I don't know these people, right? So, like, I have shirtless pics all over the place. Here, have a shirtless picture. That's fine. So then they like send back a screen video of all my social media. Like, we have all your information. We have your LinkedIn. We have your website. We have this. We know all of this about you. And if you don't give us money, we are going to leak this stuff on the internet. You know what I said?
Do it.
I was like, do it. And then I blocked. Then what I did is I reported them to the website.
Sure, yeah.
But they like threatened me. And if you go to you do this, we're going to do this. I'm like, wait. I was like, okay. And I ended up blocking them because whatever. But I was like, wait, this website is it's like Tinder in the 2000s and 10s was you were meeting people to hook up. That's what this thing was
for fuck buddies.
And it's like what are you going to release? Go for it. What? Who cares?
It was the same thing, though. They were threatening that they had access to our phone and that they were going to send these nude pictures to all of our contacts, all this kind of stuff, and threatening all that. And it's like, clearly they don't have any of this information because none of that actually exists.
Just do it.
And if they actually had something, then they would have showed like a actual screenshot of that photo or video clip or whatever it may be as proof. But it was just a bad scam.
The problem is people fall for this because they worry. Like, there's people that might be married or dating and on this site, and they're trying to hide the fact from their significant other. And it's just like, I was just like, you're barking up the wrong tree, scammer. You're barking up the wrong tree, buddy.
Have you seen my profile pictures?
I mean, like,
all are with my shirt off.
It was just like so bad. But there's so many scams on these dating apps. Every one of them, whether it's Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, J-Swipe, J-Swipe. You get on these things, and all you end up with are these people that like, oh, I don't chat on here. Text me at this number and we can talk. And it's like, yeah, no, the apps are so bad. Anyway, that was a side story. We're wrapping up episode 121, hopefully getting into busyness time with baseball. But you never know. Phillies could get swept and it could be all over, or they could win and then they play LA and then hopefully go to a World Series, and then I get to then go on the field and see what happens with the 4x5. Oh, you asked what I will do with I will take an R1 to the game for part of the game. I'm still going to do that and put it next to an A93 if people are still listening at this point. I got an A93 with a 400. I've got the R1. I would do a couple with the 400, but I won't do it in important times of the game. I mean, I'll do it and then I'll put it away because the 400's overkill for baseball in the playoffs. It's just too tight. It doesn't show ambiance. The 1 to 3 is the greatest lens for worlds for shooting playoff baseball.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to add, Steven?
That is it.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Jared Polin, Photo.com. See you.
Bye.